Wars Return of the Jedi, I think considered probably the least of the original trilogy. Is that what you guys would say?
I think the Ewoks really screwed it up for people.
Yeah.
That was the only downside to it, but I liked Return of the Jedi.
So it came out on May 25th, 1983. The budget was $32.5 million, and it made over $475 million at the box office. I've got 7 statements here, and these gentlemen, these lovely gentlemen, Frank and Lan, are going to have to guess whether or not that statement is fact or it is fiction. Number 1. Fact or fiction, George Lucas originally planned to set the final film on Coruscant. Lan.
Fact.
Frank.
Yeah, we'll say fact. It's like something you do overreach for.
Yes, you are correct. In early drafts, the final battle was supposed to take place on Had Abaddon, a city-covered planet that eventually evolved into Coruscant. So technically not the name Coruscant, but it was going to be what it turned into. But due to budget and effects limitations, they swapped it out for the second Death Star and the forest moon of Endor instead. Fact or fiction, Yoda was originally going to be left out of Return of the Jedi. Frank.
I could see that being a fact with the cost.
Lan.
I'll go fiction.
Frank gets the point. It is a fact. In early drafts of the script, Yoda didn't appear at all. Lucas initially felt his arc was complete after Empire Strikes Back, but after concerns that audiences might not fully believe Vader was Luke's father, Lucas brought Yoda back to confirm the twist in a short but important scene. Frank Oz returned for the performance, and Yoda's death gave the trilogy its emotional weight. Fact or fiction? The Ewoks were originally supposed to be Wookiees. Lan.
Fact.
Frank.
Yeah, I could see that being a fact.
It is a fact. Lucas initially planned for the final battle to happen on Kashyyyk with Wookiees instead of Ewoks, with the second Death Star surrounding the Wookiees' home planet, which had been enslaved. But Wookiees were already established as technologically capable, so they invented Ewoks because Lucas wanted a more primitive underdog species.
Plus, they needed something to sell to the kids.
Mm-hmm.
I still remember we had the Ewoks board game when I was a kid.
Yeah, we had that too. And then you
I
could
had the
shift-
Return of the Jedi board.
You could shift the map.
Yeah,
Remember,
right?
like if you landed on a spot where the guy was flying, it would shift the boards. So like somebody, if they're close to the end, it might move them to like way across from where they were. Yeah, that was a fun game.
Next up, fact or fiction? Ian McDiarmid only played Palpatine in Jedi because the original actor passed away. Frank.
Man. So crazy just seeing that. I saw how they did the original version, and then when they redid it again in 2000, and how everything was different from this original scene. I'll go fact though.
Lan?
A fact.
No, I'm sorry. That is fiction. McDiarmid was handpicked for Return of the Jedi. The original actor, Clive Revel, via hologram in Empire, was only a placeholder. Lucas wanted someone who could be aged up and still have the chops to do films later on. McDiarmid nailed it. And he is now 80, I think?
Wow.
Let me double check.
Yeah, it's like
he's 80 years old. He'll turn 81 this year.
You can find the clips online where they do the side-by-side of the 1983 version, or the 80, whatever it was, that one on the left, and then when they added Ian in to replace in the more updated version, and they actually like changed a line or two from the original. It's actually pretty well, because that one there looks like his eyes are about to pop out of his.
That looks like
brain.
it's from the shitty movie.
This is actually a woman.
There you go.
So in the original one, it was an actress, Marjorie Eaton, but the voice was Clive Revel.
Stick 2 punches at a friggin' eye socket.
Fact or fiction, the Rancor was originally filmed using a man in a rubber suit. Lan.
Fact, I have footage of it.
Frank.
Fact.
Ooh, see, he could have been throwing you off right there.
No, I've seen it too.
Okay, whatever, fine. Yeah. Yeah, it's fact. The original plan for the Rancor monster was to use a man in a gorilla-style rubber suit shot with miniatures, classic monster movie style, but the footage looked unintentionally silly, so the team switched to high-speed puppetry using detailed miniatures and a motion-controlled camera. The final version still used the suit as reference, but the puppet version was what made it to the film.
You think it looked too much like Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, and they're like, no, we gotta get this shit out of here.
Yeah, let's move on to something else. All right, here we go. There you go.
Hey!
Make sure to like and subscribe for more pictures of Carrie Fisher in a bikini. Fact or fiction, Carrie Fisher's famous metal bikini was originally made of rubber. Lan.
Fiction?
Frank.
Yeah, I'm gonna go fiction on that.
I'll give you the point. For action and stunt scenes, the iconic bikini was made of flexible rubber to allow movement, but in all the close-ups, Fisher wore a rigid metal version, which was famously uncomfortable. She often joked about how it limited her ability to sit, breathe, or eat. Fisher later said in interviews she disliked the outfit, but embraced how it became a symbol of pop culture rebellion.
How could you not eat in that? There's nothing covering your stomach.
Probably around the waist or whatever.
Yeah.
Tight.
Or
I just remember hearing all the stories of how the people behind the scenes could see straight down that bikini.
I think she's just another complaining woman complaining she can't eat because there's something trying to stop her from doing it.
And this, I mean, it all kind of came full circle, that episode of Friends, when Ross and Rachel are together, and she's asking him, like, what's your fantasy? Like, what is your fantasy? And he finally tells her, and you get to see Jennifer Aniston in a bikini. I mean, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, until he
Pretty
then
nice.
sees his mom. And
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that part. Oh, way to ruin it, Frank. Fact or fiction, the original Star Wars trilogy almost ended with Luke becoming Darth Vader. Frank.
Fact.
Lan.
Fiction.
Frank gets the point. It is a fact. Depending on how literal you want to take the word almost, but the idea was definitely brought up. Lawrence Kasdan, who co-wrote the screenplay, floated the idea out there, but it was shot down by Lucas. However, the Dark Luke concept would live on in legends, stories, and even inspired The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker.
God, what a shit. Why did you bring it up? Last Jedi sucked.
So did The Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, but The Last
As you
Jedi
say, all three
really,
of those movies were bad.
They were all terrible.
Last Jedi torpedoed it. It was. I mean, the first one wasn't bad, and but that second one just.
I agree.
Still pretty shitty.
First one wasn't terrible. The biggest problem is it was damn near like, hey, let's just copy the original story.
Yeah.
And then just remake that.
They had giant meat rolling alien critters trying to eat people on a barge. So that wasn't in the first one.
What?
Yeah, those creatures of death that were wheeling around chasing Han and Chewie and the other when Han first. When they first get the Millennium Falcon and he catches it.
Oh, yeah.
Those
Okay.
giant,
wow, I have forgotten a lot
meatballs.
about that movie.
The giant meatballs.
Jesus.
Because it was shitty.
Yeah.
All three of them were bad.
Now, my only hope is that with Dave Filoni kind of taking over for things, they can get Star Wars back on track. I have heard Andor, by the way, is amazing. I still haven't even finished
that's what everybody said.
I still haven't even finished season 1 yet, but I keep hearing it's just awesome.
Everybody says that, but like nobody's watching it. That was the problem the first season had. Just nobody watches it. Like it's rated really high, but it's just nobody ever watches it. And it's the same thing with the second one. It's rated high, but nobody's watching it.
Yeah, I think I'm going to need to go back and I need to watch Andor, and I also need to finish The Acolyte as well. Because that was rated low, but that one was doing pretty good. You get to see Darth Plagueis. something.
And then it got canceled, so there was no point to even have him.
Dark side.
I know people
it's
like Star Wars nerds were.
It's like
I know
Darth
Star Wars
Maul.
nerds were.
It's like
Well,
Darth.
I know that's.
But he shows up
like
at the end
Star
of
Wars
Solo.
nerds- Yeah, well, Star Wars nerds
Yeah.
were pissed because apparently they're saying like Plagueis shouldn't have been where he was. He would have been like on some planet being like a merchant selling stuff or some crap, like in the books or in the comics. Like he's not at that time period. He's like in another part of the galaxy,
Well,
like selling
but-
sneakers on the
I
street or
think
something like that.
the thing is, though, I'm pretty sure what people are referencing though are legends, like shit that they've said is not canon.
Yeah.
I
No,
don't
yeah,
know.
that's what I was talking
So-
about was Legends. Like that stuff that was like 90s, those storylines.
So
I don't
all the
know.
good stuff that Disney says doesn't exist anymore.
Exactly.